Let me take this time and opportunity to welcome you once more, to our weekly program, Health Talk. And today, I would want us to, go back a little bit to talk about stresses. In the past few weeks, we spoke a lot around, substances. We spoke about, the dangers of substances. Our children get trapped into this kind of habit and so on and so forth. But, today, I have wanted us to go back a little bit, to focus on something which I equally find it very interesting, more particularly at this time and age, where as people we get stressed for a number of reasons. At this time, we get anxious, get worried. We get so or overwhelmed by situations and circumstances that surround us, and with examinations that our children will be sitting to take, with challenges that families, parents and are not excluded from these anxieties, these challenges, these stresses. And I thought, I need to just devote a little bit of time to talk to young people, and not only do that, but also take a little bit of time to talk to parents and to family members who are not immune to stress and stresses. But maybe before I do that, I need to take this time to reflect a little bit on what is happening and around us. I think as a church, as a body of Christ, we are so excited that church is, as we know it, although in a different format, is gonna be starting, and there are concepts that are going around. For instance, with us, we're going to have a drive-through church. Hey, you know what? You thought drive-through is in McDonald's and KFC. Hey, church is gonna have something similar, a drive-through. You'll receive the word of God, the preaching, while you are, sitting in your car, and and so on and so forth. So, things that are coming are going to be very exciting. And if you thought that church was boring, church was outdated, there's no space for church, watch the space, because all the spaces now would only be for church. And with that, I would want to also take this opportunity and time to, to appreciate our general overseer and Pastor Swag, and our senior pastor, Pastor Joy Lynn, who continue, to give us platforms, who continue to empower us, who continue to, to entrust us with the servants of God, to to teach, to coach, to guide, to do all these things, because in the body of Christ we need all of these things. And because all of these things, of course, they serve a purpose. Today I have wanted to start my talk this way, that that when a year starts, when you go to school, it doesn't matter at what level, you know that there would come a time where you will be examined, where you will be tested for things that you have been taught in that year, or in that semester, in that quarter, and all of that. So the issue around testing, or the issue where you are examined in terms of what you know, what you recall, what you have mastered, it's not something new. It's not something that should take us by surprise. It's not something that, all of a sudden you tell people, no, I'm going home, I'm going to study, I'm writing, as if this writing hasn't been there. This thing of assessment hasn't been there. It's just been introduced and, brought to your attention, and suddenly, you have to begin to prepare this and prepare that. And, you are running out of time. Time is not on your side. Time is flying, and, and the issues of, anxiety begin to creep in. Why? Because all of a sudden, you have 5-6 chapters to put together to begin to prepare for your test or your examination. And I thought, while these examinations are with us, and the anxieties and stresses and stresses are with us, maybe let me devote a little bit of time just to look at this. Why do we often, when we have to sit for examinations, when we have to go sit for tests, suddenly we feel the pressure, and before the time to sit for tests and examinations, we do not have the stressors, we do not have the anxiety. What causes this? And it's open secret. I think where I'm heading with this. And quite often, as students, as learners, we were often taught about planning. We are often taught about preparations. We know you are often, more often than not, you're told that you need to develop a study timetable, a study schedule, and a study program, and you need to be disciplined to follow this program, or this timetable, this program that you would have developed. Why? Planning, planning makes you to be without time. You with planning, you do not have time to idle. You do not have time on your disposal. You suddenly found that as soon as you wake up, your program or your plan will tell you that this has to be done, this has to be done, this has to happen, and you suddenly realize that you would not necessarily have what sometimes Pastor Strike would would joke around. He said the other time that his dad, while he was growing up, would say to him, "Oh, my son, ulaba kujika jika." That's a good thing, my son. Jika jika yindlu. So Pastor Strike at that time, he would want to be on the street with other age mates, and roaming the streets and wandering the streets and having good time. And his dad will not have any of that. He says, "There's no time for such. If you think you have time to waste, here's a house. You can do that. You can walk around it." So what it means is, why I'm bringing this is that sometimes we think that we have time that we could just waste. Sometimes we think we have plenty of time that we can afford just to leave the house and just stroll the streets and all of that. But with your plan, with your schedule, you suddenly realize that you do not have the luxury of that. More particularly with us lately, you will find that if you are a university student, you have different modules that have, their demands on you. If you are at high school, similarly, you would have, 6-7 modules that you are registered for, and, they are so demanding. After school, there's extra classes. After that, you have homework to do. You have projects to run. And you'll agree with me that you would not have the luxury of time that you have in your disposal just to walk around and stroll the streets. But my question today is, why often when we have to sit for a test, when we have to sit for examination, it appears as if we were never, we are never ready for this. We are always caught by surprise. We are often the few days before the examination or the test, we have to lock ourselves in. We have kill all the movements and all these other things. We do not have all the time for television, for sitting on our on our phones and doing all sort of things. Yes, before the examination, before the test, we do not have all the time to waste. But let me tell you equally that even before the tests, even before the examination, you actually do not have all the time to be sitting and watching television all day. You do not have all the time to be just sitting and writing messages, chatting to friends all day. You do not have that. Actually, you think that you do have, but you don't. The proof that you do not have is when now you are confronted with that test and that examination. The proof is that you are less prepared for that test. You are less prepared for that examination. Why? Because the time that you should have taken, put aside to make this preparation, time that you should have taken and devote to preparing yourself, putting your mind at rest, making thorough preparation, writing notes, compiling notes, making sure that, you cover each and every space, cover each and every, sector, units. You did not, use that time accordingly. What it means when you start, locking yourself, not going out, you suddenly you are you have to do so much in a very short space of time. It testifies to one thing: programming was never there. Planning your time was neglected. You thought you had time, but actually you didn't. And actually, it goes on to expose you that actually you didn't do what was expected of you to do. You were supposed to have a good plan that you're supposed to follow, and what you now do, now when you are to sit for tests, you have to rob yourself of sleepless nights. You can't sleep anymore. You can't rest your body anymore. Sometimes you have to push information into your system, a huge amount of information in a very short space of time. And all of those things they cause you, anxiety. You feel like, you are not ready for this. This is not meant for you. This is too much for you. Actually, you start blaming even the volume of work that you have to do, the textbook that you are supposed to do. You are using, said, no, the volume is too huge, and this and this and that. Well, it could be a big volume that you're using, but you know precisely that it's not everything in that book that you are going to be tested on. It's what you are crying about. Actually, you are crying about and around your lack of planning, your lack of preparation. You are actually telling us the moment you start. You do not sleep. You are saying to us, I'm a bad planner. Actually, things that I should have done, I did not do. And this is the end result. That's why, suddenly you need, you need, immune boosters. You need, things that can keep you awake, because suddenly sleeping have to be suspended. From where I'm sitting, my brothers and sisters, students, learners, and parents, because it's, lately, education has no age limit. It is for us all. Let's try and go back to the basics. Planning is important. When you plan, you have a plan to study, plan to do this, plan to do that. Plan and execute your plan. Don't just plan. Planning could be easy, but execution of your plan, that's very critical. Follow your plan like, your life is dependent on it. If you plan to do one chapter a week, for a month, and try and live to that, to do a chapter a week, you will realize that after a month, you have done 4 chapters. You have notes for 4 chapters. And when you have to prepare for your test, you are not compiling notes. It's not for the first time that you are introducing or you are introduced to a chapter. You have already done that. You have already compiled notes. You're now referring to the same notes as you prepare for your examination. And with that, the anxiety, where preparations is good, where planning is good, anxiety become less. You become less anxious. You are less anxious. You're not panicking. And the other thing that happens to most of us, because we want to do so many things within a very short space of time. We even have a mental blockage. Sometimes you realize that you are trying to study, but your body cannot absorb any information whatsoever. It's kind of you are blocked, and you try to absorb, but nothing happens. And it therefore becomes our responsibility that we need to plan. Proper plan informs, how we will respond, to examination, to test. We'll be less anxious, we'll less stressed. You go into your examination room in a very relaxed mode. You go into your examination room very confident. You don't go in there shaky and doubtful. You often see, students and learners, in the last minute, still holding to the textbook, to the notebook. Lately, you even, have student and learners who they know that they, sometimes when you sit for examination, you're allowed to be late by a certain period, minutes. Say for instance, it's 30 minutes. You can't be late by more than 30 minutes. So what often happens, you would find the examination has started, and a student, a learner, will still be sitting outside, still absorbing for one last time, for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever time that they are still allowed to be outside before they accepted to sit for the examination. And you're still absorbing that. That can, for me, is a clear indication that, you did not do that which you expected to do on time. And we can avoid that. We can avoid that. We can avoid this kind of situation, family, by planning our time, by scheduling ourselves, by making sure that, our preparations are good. And, families, parents have a responsibility here. They have a role to play as well. Not only for themselves, but, to be guardian enough to demand some kind of scheduling, some kind of planning, demand this from their children, and maybe if you are a parent and also you are also studying, that also become very important, that you lead by example. Develop your own plan, develop your own schedule, have time to cook, have time to assist your children with homework, but also have time, aside that you have set for yourself to study. Put this plan or this schedule in an open space where your children can also imitate your plan, where they can copy from your plan. In this way, you will have simplified things for yourself, because this will be more like monkey see, monkey do. Your children would have you as a role model. Your children would have you to copy from. Your children would actually, sometimes it becomes very interesting when you are a parent and you are sitting on the table to study, and your little ones, they come and sit around you to do the same. In that way, as a family, you are learning together. You succeed together, and that would, for me, be a good and a perfect example of how, as a family, you would avoid unnecessary stresses due to lack of planning. As a family, you would avoid anxieties that we often encounter, when we have to go and sit for test and examination as a result of us being less prepared. We didn't prepare on time. We did not do what we were supposed to do when we were supposed to do such. And this also led me to say, to include this one part, of something that I previously spoke to you about. It's called palliative coping, and trying to feel better. The trying to feel better, or the palliative coping, comes into being, or come into be because we did not say, for instance, we did not necessarily plan our things on time, and we now overworking ourselves, we're overwhelming ourselves with a lot of work, and sometimes the body get tired, and trying to feel better is a coping mechanism that we often activate when we are overwhelmed, and we have so much to do in a short space of time. To avoid a situation where you have a mental blockage or mental breakdown, quite often we encourage people to say, have time aside to, say, put time aside to exercise, so that you give your body a break. And when you exercise, it's it's important that your body needs that, and it's recommended. I'm sure you will remember previously that if you exercise for at least 45 minutes, your body is able to release something, the pain killers in your body that kind of give your body the break that it requires. And the other thing that we spoke about previously is trying to have good rest. As a young person, your body need a good rest, and this goes equally for adults. But you know that when you have so much to do, when you have so much work to cover in a short space of time, resting is not necessarily possible. But try and rest and recover your body for the work that is still lying ahead. Maybe the last thing that I would want to share is also which we discussed previously, which one could use, is to eat a healthy diet. When you are so overwhelmed, you have so much to do, the last thing that you want to do is to ill-treat your body, feed your body with junk and all of that. Amidst the stress and the stresses, the anxiety, you still have to eat well. So, it became very important that you have to plan your meals and you have to plan what you are going to eat, and so that, your body is well nourished for the work that it still has to carry. And if we do these things, family, I believe very strongly that we should be able to withstand the pressures, the anxieties, the stresses that come with examination, that come with the demands that are upon us as students, as learners. And today I felt that we needed to reflect on these things, and I believe that you are encouraged, and not only for this examination, but going forward, we will as families and plan together and work together so that we achieve together. And with these few words, this concludes our talk today. And church is starting tomorrow, so drive through church. Hey, I encourage one and all, let's go, let's come to church and experience God than we have experienced God before. God will be moving mightily in tomorrow in church. So with these few words, till next time, be blessed. Thank you.